Hey guys, it's James at Real Freedom Channel. In this episode, we're going to take you in just a moment on a walkthrough of a property that we've got about halfway through the renovation. A little backstory on this. We hadn't been to this particular neighborhood in about a year and a half and really hadn't been that impressed. Passed on a couple of opportunities. We had to acquire property there a year and a half ago. Went back, saw this particular property, and we were amazed at what's happened in the neighborhood. So watch for a couple of things. At the very beginning of the video, you'll see a view at the end of the street where you can kind of see the Dallas skyline. Very impressive at night, not as impressive during the day, not as impressive with all the leaves on the trees, but when we first saw it, it was in late spring. There weren't leaves on the trees yet. We saw it about dusk. The view was absolutely amazing. At the end of the video, you'll also see what the view is as you come out of the house, and you're going to see what's kind of happening in that neighborhood. So hope you enjoy walking through and kind of seeing what we're doing. Got a couple of pro tips for you there, but look at the beginning and look at the end, because this video illustrates very well how you want to make sure that you're current on the neighborhoods where you're buying, because this went from a place that was a decent location from a proximity standpoint, but it really wasn't a great neighborhood. Now that's really changing. So hope you enjoy. So today we're talking about location and how that impacts the value in real estate. This particular house is under renovation right now, and in just a moment we're going to walk you through it. But we wanted to show you there's a really amazing view of downtown from this street, and a lot of renovation going on in the neighborhood. So obviously the better a neighborhood looks overall, the better off we're going to be. But with situations like this in a neighborhood that's quickly up and coming, these are opportunities you probably want to pursue. Now, notice a couple of things from the outside. You see all the security windows, the security doors, and I think that was pretty important when they built it. Well, when they renovated this house, which was a couple, I don't know, probably 4 years ago. But this house was built in 1944, so it's got very, very high ceilings, which helped with heat. It's got large rooms, and it's in a neighborhood that, as we walk back out, you'll see why we're pretty excited about this renovation. I wanted to show you something when you're looking at houses in neighborhoods that are a little bit rough. Notice how there's like a deadbolt on this, and you really want to see that. If you have windows in a bedroom, that's an egress window. And somebody might need to get out the window if there were a fire or something like that. And if the grates just go over the window, and it does a good job of keeping someone out, but it also does a good job of keeping someone in, that's potentially a problem. This entire house was very dark colors. We haven't changed the color on the doors yet. This light brown that you see, that was the lighter of the accent colors. The bathrooms, we're not changing the furniture or the tile, but it was very dark. By making the wall colors a lot lighter, it's already lightened the house up quite a bit and made it look quite a bit bigger. It really looks small because it was so dark, just the colors. Notice again we have the locks on the window grates, which keep you safe, but allow you to get out if you need to. There was a significant amount of drywall work that needed to be done at the top. There was a drain line in the AC, which is in the attic, that caused some problems. but then since we're doing all that work, we're adding in this recessed lighting, which will make it a lot nicer. The kitchen that you see through there, it looks pretty open because of how they put the big opening in the wall. I'm sure they did that in 2016 when they did the initial renovation. It wouldn't have been that way in 1944 when they built the house. But back then they used to like to compartmentalize homes and keep them, much smaller. This is the master, and it's got, its own bathroom. It's not, super sized, but for homes from this era in this part of town, that's kind of a major plus. Then in the, or I should say off of the kitchen, there is a complete, separate laundry area. Now, one of the things that we always do in these areas is we make sure these are quarter turn. When it was renovated in 16, they did that. They also updated the 220. So those are two things that we always do. Didn't have to do in this particular one. This area could serve as a pantry for the kitchen, and then even though the refrigerator's out, it's when that is pushed back, this is really a pretty decent sized kitchen. We're going to put new appliances in here. There was some foundation work that needed to be done that ran through this kitchen and into that hallway. It was very localized, so it was a fairly simple repair, not necessarily inexpensive, but it flattened the house out very nicely. And then obviously this is the view from the kitchen into the main living area, which is really nicely sized. And you'll see as we finish this, particularly if we stage it, it's going to feel like a house that's twice the size of what we're dealing with now, just because we made all the colors on the walls a lot lighter. The flooring, all the carpet that was here is out. That's all going to be replaced with SBC, and this is going to make, between having continuous flooring all the way throughout and everything being lighter in color, it's going to make a tremendous difference. Now, I mentioned the neighborhood. This house has immediately across the street a couple of very new homes, and the entire neighborhood is kind of like this, where they're doing tear downs and rebuilds. Old homes like this, if you can avoid doing the tear down, obviously it's a lot less expensive, but it also lets you keep the character of the neighborhood a lot better. There's some nice cedar posts that dress up the front, and the rock work on the front of the house is kind of, it was not original. This was added when they did the renovation, this brick and rock in 16, but really makes it look kind of a good fusion and a good marriage of the old and the new. So that's kind of it for the walkthrough. We'll have some more comments later. Well, all right. I hope that you were able to see that the downtown view, and better still, the view of the neighborhood and the renovation and the new builds that are happening there has really changed this entire neighborhood. We had to have this property for about 6 months because there were renters in it when we bought it. That worked out favorably because market values were just increasing and new builds were happening as that was going on. But that's why it's super important to not have a bias against a specific area unless you've been there pretty recently, because things are changing very quickly right now. As always at Real Freedom, we show you real people, real situations, real challenges, and real solutions. This is a situation that should very clearly illustrate how you want to be current on your neighborhoods. You want to look at what's happening not just in the very street you are, but a couple of streets around. And if you can do that, then you'll find a lot of opportunities that people will pass on because very recently a neighborhood was kind of unfavorable. So hope you enjoyed watching. We appreciate it. Click on that red subscribe button and get notifications. That way you'll know as soon as we post new content on Real Freedom Channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.